Update: how do I 28F make my husband 30M want me sexually again? I am at fault here and I am trying to salvage the marriage. So, yesterday morning I have messaged my husband that we need to talk, and we agreed that a talk is a must in our current situation. We cancelled our evening walk, prepared some wine and we talked. We talked for hours and hours. Tears were shed heavily. Also, there was yelling, not abusive yelling, just yelling. I have come to know that for the past 2 months my husband had been in therapy himself. He did not want to bother me with this. He was suffering so much in the past year. My actions caused him to feel unwanted, undesired, and unloved. He felt useless as a man. He started to resent me. And when it came to this point he went to therapy cause according to him he could not fathom the idea of resenting me as he loves me so much. It was going well, and masturbation was something his therapist recommended to do to relieve pressure and help him maintain a healthy life. The reason he told me those hurtful things when I walked on him that day was me saying I have needs too. He felt so angry at the moment that he told me these awful words. He thought, well, if you have needs, why the heck are not you telling me something or saying anything? And in his mind he thought I was cheating on him, since according to him I did not want him sexually anymore. I did not know how deep I hurt that man. My heart was bleeding as I was listening to him. I told him how ducked up I was in my head, how I have come to realize how awful of a wife I was to him, and that I am now willing to change myself to be a better person for himself and myself as well. He was very skeptical, and I mean extremely skeptical, which I totally understand and do not blame him at all for that. Since my record of brushing things off, I showed him my next therapy appointment, and also some of the advices I have received her. I wrote it down in my notepad, so I showed him those as well. He apologized to me, and I apologized to him. We acknowledged that we both messed up here, and we spent a lot of time pointing out where did we mess up, and we acknowledge every bad thing we both did in regards to our feelings. We spent the whole night talking about this. We came to agree that we want our marriage to work again, but he made it clear that if I bailed out on therapy, or brushed therapy off, then the marriage is over, and I agreed on that cause this is what I want as well. Today morning, we wake up, I met him at the kitchen, and he kissed me good morning. I kissed him back and we had breakfast. After breakfast I thought to try something, and I went to him and started to make out with him. I was missing him so much, and as it turned out he was missing me as much well. And for the first time in so long I saw him leaving smiling. I have been crying since the morning, and I cannot describe you how happy I am now. Once more, thanks a lot for all the advice you have provided me, and thanks to all of you I have looked deeply into my actions and made some decisions to change myself to the better, including the first step of getting myself into therapy, sex-positive therapist. That is great. As long as you two are on the same page, want the same things, and agreed on your future plans, then it is wonderful. I am happy for both of you. I have always liked the analogy of people in a relationship as two parallel lines. Slowly drifting apart will see you end up in completely different places, and tending inwards towards conflict will see the lines collide. Communication, honesty and openness keep those lines parallel with each other, together in harmony. Your original post hit very close to home for me. But I am in your husband's situation. I too had a chat with my partner today, and explained a lot to her about why my mood and attention to her had deteriorated over the last few months. Therapy may work for us in the long run, but just getting the feelings out there helped massively, and she took on board what I was saying. There was some making up, but we will see if things have changed in the long term, as time passes. But for now, talking about it, rather than hiding it, bottling it up, has done us a world of good. Thank you for the inspiration to confront it, rather than my usual tactic of ignoring a problem till it goes away. I am glad to hear that you two have turned a corner. I am so happy to hear this. I found your original post several hours after you made it, and it had hundreds of comments already, so I did not bother posting one myself. But it made me cry, it was so sad. I really hope things keep improving for you too. Something I learned in couples therapy myself that I found really helpful was learning about the 4 horsemen that herald the end of a relationship. Hopefully knowing about them will also help the two of you as well. They are: 1. Contempt. This is when you think less of your partner. When you start focusing on negative perceptions of them, such as thinking they are cold and unloving, The solution is to remind yourself of their positive traits and why you love them. Actively try to compliment them and recognize the good things about them. To criticism, this is when you start blaming them for your problems, while they might have had a role in these problems. Personal attacks and blame do not foster good communication or reconciliation. Instead, you should try addressing problems by focusing on how you feel and what you need from your partner, and avoiding use statements about your partner. It does not matter who is at fault. What matters is simply what is the problem. What do we need to fix the problem? And then inviting your partner into a conversation for how to address those needs as a team. And by focusing on your own feelings and why it is a problem for you, you invite empathy and teamwork. Playing the blame game does not. That simply alienates your partner and sets you up for confrontation. 3. Defensiveness. This is often the response to criticism, though it can exist on its own. This is when you do not accept responsibility for your actions. Instead, you make up excuses or deflect blame, turning things back around and making them your partner's fault problem. The key thing here is to listen to your partner. You need to acknowledge what they are saying and how they feel, and you should try to accept responsibility for whatever role you played in it. That does not mean you have to accept blame that you feel is unfair or unwarranted, but you do need to try and see things from your partner's point of view, and acknowledge that that view is valid, which includes acknowledging your own actions which contributed to their view and feelings. This also requires sincere apologies if you have messed up in some way. 4. Stonewalling. This is when you clock out of the discussion. You might stop talking and just avoid the problem, or maybe you start agreeing with everything your partner says because it is just not worth arguing about anymore. However it manifests, the thing is that you are no longer trying, and it is impossible for two people to fix their problems if one of them does not want to and is not going to try. Unfortunately, the only solution to this is to take a break from the discussion and come back together when you are both ready to work on things. You might even have to physically avoid one another until you both calm down and are in the right headspace to deal with things. But it is okay to take a break if the conversation is not going anywhere. Good luck to the both of you. I wish you all the best. Communication is key. Half of the problems on here can be solved by communicating. Hope for both of you things get better. Great. Tomorrow morning you kiss him good morning first. That's awesome. I don't know if this would help, but maybe make a goal for certain days or the week to do something to surprise your husband, like an impromptu make-out session or a massage or walking around sans clothing. On a very important side note, it should be okay for either of you to masturbate when you want to. Being offended or jealous of it really isn't necessary. Sure, sometimes, as in this case, there could be additional reasons in the relationship that are the reason a person chooses masturbation over sex at times in a relationship. But it's not okay for one partner to shame another if when they are found self-pleasuring. This sounds so wonderful. Some just quick tips from someone who has been there. Scheduling sex helps a lot. I know that doesn't sound fun, but having a specific time that you can reliably know it's sexy night helps. So does scheduling date nights. It can just be a time that you'll watch a show on Netflix together or whatever, but knowing that time will be spent can go a long way. Therapy for both of you. And to be honest, lingerie. I am completely team lingerie. It gets you in the mood and helps you feel sexy, but also instantly communicates to him, hey, I really do want you and I am interested in you. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.